Ramily, Ramily. We are getting closer to draft day. Ramsaholic, as always, make sure to like, subscribe, share. Follow me on X at Shay tweeted that. Uh, I share my TikTok, but I really don't go on that much. YouTube, Twitter, other things I'm rocking with. So this is the Rams' first round pick since 2016. A lot of us Rams fans have been having fun doing mock drafts, really taking a deeper dive into this draft than we usually do because usually we were the fuck them picks gang, right? We don't care about first round picks. We're trading those for talent. Times are changing, and I think times are changing because last year's draft was such a smash that the Rams are like, you're going to give us the 19th overall pick? We're going to smash it. And there are some guys that over the last 2 months, I've just really fell in love with as we seen how free agency played out. Obviously, that changes the way we look at the draft and where we're picking. I was the biggest Wiggins fan. Posted his 40-yard dash, was watching it, so excited he gets hurt. Still think he's a phenomenal player, but the needs right now after us getting Darius Williams, Trey White, we really don't need secondary, especially with the GOAT, Aaron Donald, retiring. But there is 5 guys I've keyed in on that I really want to see in horns by the end of this month. And let's start off with my top guy, Jared Verse. Now below, you can see his specs, his position, his school, edge rusher, phenomenal player. Really put on size after COVID, working out, bulking up. 254 pounds. He was 200 pounds when he started his collegiate career. His stats are pretty damn in line with each other the last 2 years at Florida State. Last year, he had 12.5 tackles for loss, 9 sacks, 3 pass deflections, fumble recovery, and a forced fumble. 2022, the year prior, 17 tackles for loss, 9 sacks, fumble recovery for 10 yards. So, Verse is a pure defensive end. He really just brings the heat on that edge. He's what you want to contain that outside. Doesn't really get tricked to move in. He really stays where he needs to be. I have him as the best edge rusher in this class. If we get Verse, we're going to be looking good. Now, there's chances he could definitely go top 10. But this draft is so deep, and a lot of these teams have so many needs that they might put the edge rusher in position on the back burner. But I do not think the Rams should do that. I think if you have Verse and Young on your outside, you have a solid foundation for now and the future. So if we get Jared Verse, I will be happy. I'll probably wait till next year when we get new jerseys to buy any jerseys before all the changes happen. But Verse is a guy I am really excited about if he does in fact become a Los Angeles Ram. Number 2, everyone's boy, Latu. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. Sorry if I'm not. Edge rusher, UCLA, the local kid. A lot of Rams fans love Latu. I do as well. My thing with Latu that has me a little very minorly but still skeptical is the neck injury he sustained in 2020. Now he did come back, and he came back better than ever. Statistically, at UCLA, the last 2 years, the man was statistically one of the best edge rushers. In 25 games, he had 23 and a half sacks. Like, that is phenomenal. Last year, 13 sacks, 21 and a half tackles for loss, total of 49 tackles. So he definitely made improvements. And he also had 2 interceptions, 2 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles. The man is a baller. He is not the most freakish athlete, but he does make plays, right? And then the year prior, 10 and a half sacks, 12 and a half for loss, 36 tackles, 1 pass deflection, 1 fumble recovery, 3 forced fumbles. Now, the reason I feel a lot of Rams fans probably have Latu as their number 1 is the familiarity. Sorry, I'm Portuguese. They're familiar with the man. They know what he's going to bring. They've seen him. They watch him. And his stats are just phenomenal, right? And also, he does cover better than Verse. I will say that. He is a better guy that can drop into coverage. And in our system, Morris is gone. Shula's in. Changes might not be much because they were in the same system together. It's not like we took Shula in. He's going to change everything. So you have to figure what we did with Michael Hoyt will be happening with Latu or whoever we have. So you do want a guy that can drop back in coverage, watch those flats, curls, hooks. Latu probably does that better than Verse. I will say Verse is the better edge rusher, but Latu I will give the advantage for in coverage. Either way, I'll be happy with either guy. Like I said, the neck injury is really what has me a little more skeptical on Latu than I am of Jared Verse. Now here we go. Sexy pick. Not him being sexy, but when you draft a wide receiver, you are talking about making a sexy pick, right? An offensive weapon with Sean McVay, with Cooper Kupp, with Puka Nacua, with Kyron Williams, with Tyler Higbee when he's back, Davis Allen for now, and Parkinson. A phenomenal offensive line. You throw Brian Thomas Jr. there. Sorry, D-Rob as well. But D-Rob is on a 1-year deal. Cooper Kupp's getting older. But you throw Brian Thomas with that offense at 6'3", man, you're giving Stafford that big, tall, wide receiver to help us in the red zone, which is what really cost us a few games last year, which is what lost us the playoff game versus the Detroit Lions. Brian Thomas would be a phenomenal pick at 19. Now, sure, I don't have him ahead of Verse or Latu, but I would not be mad if we take a wide receiver to groom with McVay to form a sick duo for the future of Puka and Thomas. Right now we have Kupp, but Kupp is not playing forever. He is injury prone. I hate to say that word, but he is. We have DeMarcus Robinson, 1-year deal. Ben Skoranek, Tutu Atwell, free agents next year, but those are guys you can't put at the 2. You can't. I'm sorry, you Tutu lovers, you cannot. He had some good games when Kupp was out. I give him that, but then he just disappeared. DeMarcus Robinson really learned the playbook and took his position, and Tutu Atwell was playing 20+% snaps, if that. Brian Thomas Jr., LSU, that is the wide receiver university. Malik Neighbors is there with Brian Thomas and Jaden Daniels with a phenomenal offense they had. You bring Brian Thomas to the Rams, this offense could be top 3 without a question. Brian Thomas's stats last year, 68 catches, 1,177 yards at a clip of 17.3 yards per catch, 17 touchdowns. The 2 prior years, 5 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns. really didn't make an impact like he did this season. Those 17 touchdowns, phenomenal, man. The guy is just a high point wide receiver. Maybe not the best wide receiver in this class, but you can make an argument between him and Rome Odunze at who's number 3. He's either the 3 or the 4. This man is fast. 4.3 340 time at that height. Sign me up, man. Now here we go. Byron Murphy II. Now this was a guy I was huge on, especially when Aaron Donald retired. You know, same height as AD, a little bigger. Probably can lose some weight, just like AD ended up when he came out of Pittsburgh, a little bit chunkier. But man, the way this guy posts on social media, I think he wants to be a Ram. He shares mock drafts that have him going to the Rams. He's a big body. He would be the interior presence with Turner that could dominate for years to come. Defensive tackle, if you've been watching free agency, has become one of the most important positions in football. A lot of these top teams win Super Bowls with a dominant defensive tackle. This would be no different. All these guys I'm talking about would be great fits for the Rams, like perfect fits. Wide receiver may not be the biggest need, but it would really push the offense. Edge rusher is a super need, unless you're a Michael Hoyt believer. But I feel like he could be a good rotational guy. Byron Murphy would come in, give us 2 solid defensive tackles to grow with, and Bobby Brown to rotate in as well to bring a 5-man front of straight bullies. There's a big chance the Rams want to play bully ball this year. And if that's the case on the defensive side, Byron Murphy has got to be the pick. Byron Murphy's stats at Texas, he played 3 years. Last year, 5 sacks, 8.5 for loss, 29 tackles. The year prior, 3 tackles for loss, 26 total tackles, 26 total tackles, 1 sack. Freshman year, 2 sacks. Now, with a defensive tackle, sacks come, they go. He was a very good run stopper. He's fast. This man, if you watch his film, really makes big plays. Him and Sweat in Texas were a great 1-2 punch. And Murphy is probably the best defensive tackle in this class. So the Rams really want to get beefy up front with the interior being solidified for years to come. Byron Murphy is the pick. Lastly, Brock, the collegiate GOAT tight end, Bowers. Brock Bowers now, this man really does it all. He is the only tight end in this class that has like day 1 starter potential. Tight ends usually take a while, but last year we seen a bunch of tight ends blow up. Brock Bowers is probably already, without even playing a snap in the NFL, one of the dynasty top 3 tight ends for a reason. In college, he had the best receiving grade of any tight end since 2014, since PFF started to track those collegiate stats there. He beat out Kyle Pitts, who had a 92.9 grade with a 94.1. Receiving yards all time, most. 2,541 yards. Second closest, Charlie Kohler, 2,189. Receiving touchdowns, 26. Charlie Kohler had 23, and Albert O, formerly the Denver Broncos, not sure what happened to that guy. He had 23, but he really did not pan out. Receiving yards after contact, 689. He's in good company here. Next closest, so second, Sam Laporta, 466. Now Laporta's probably the number 1 or 2 dynasty tight end, Bowers is in good company. Missed tackles forced on receptions, 44. Number 2, Sam Laporta with 36. Bowers is a dog. Now, he really had his best season his freshman year with 13 touchdowns. And then the last 2 years, 6 last year, 7 in 2022. The man just gets touchdowns. But another thing he does is he rushes for touchdowns. In his 3-year career at Georgia, 5 rushing touchdowns, including 3 in 2022. The man knows how to win. He won 2 national championships. He's a Georgia Bulldog. The Rams love these Georgia Bulldogs. Early, we got Stafford. Last year, we took a chance on Stetson Bennett. Who played with Brock Bowers? Who could tell them a thing or two about Brock Bowers, even though you don't need anyone to tell you anything if you watch this man's film? You see his big plays, taking reverse handoffs to the house. This man can do it all. Is tight end the biggest need? Absolutely not. But Higbee's older. Davis Allen is not a good blocker. I still have faith in Davis Allen as a pass catcher, but teams use 2 tight ends now. And I personally think Tyler Higbee's career is pretty much done, especially after an ACL injury against the Lions. He was already showing signs of deteriorating, which is why I don't know why we extended him, but the Rams just show respect to their veterans who bust their ass week in, week out, and he does that. He toughens it out, but the man's always hurt. Even when he's not hurt, it looks like he's always limping after tackles. So you can't really rely on Tyler Higbee. Parkinson, we just signed him, 6'7". We have to see what he really brings, but he's a real dominant blocking tight end, top 10 blocking tight end in the NFL. I think McVay can have some fun with him, which could be the reason Brock Bowers isn't going to be the pick at 19. But Brock Bowers probably is the best player in this draft. Now, just because you're the best player doesn't mean a team needs your services. Plenty of positions in football, and tight end is not a position many teams really want to go for in round 1. But the collegiate tight end GOAT would be fun to have in LA. And I already talked about all the weapons we have. And if you throw in Brock Bowers with Stafford, that Georgia connection can really blossom year 1. Then you have Davis Allen, you have Parkinson. You could really have a formidable trio there. Although I think if Bowers does come, the Davis Allen experiment probably is done. The draft capital is not there for him. And if you put pick 19 up with Brock Bowers, the man is just going to be out on the field most of the time. So Ramily, that's it. Those are the 5 guys I think would be great picks for the Rams. I think we would all be excited. These guys are all ballers. This draft class is deep. I mean, this draft class has been so much fun to cover. I'm still looking at the later round picks, guys, more in depth. So my next show, I'll probably talk about our second round pick more in depth and a few guys that I really want to see go there. But Ramily, make sure to like, subscribe, share. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. I'm your boy Ramsaholic, and I'm out.